Sam Darnold having a huge target in Denzel Mims should be forcing the ball to him, quite frankly, because especially regardless of what the play call is, if you have a guy who's out there and he's not necessarily the hot route or the hot read or whatever it is you want to call it, if he is repeatedly beating his defender like a drum and he is constantly open, you find ways to get him the ball. And that's on Sam Darnold for not finding him. Now, you could also blame, there are some people that are going to say, well, if he doesn't have time to throw the ball, what is he going to do? How is he going to be able to force the ball downfield? Well, then you know what? Then you need to scramble out of the pocket. You need to not stand there like a deer in the headlights and let yourself get plastered over and over and over again. You know, we keep talking about Sam Darnold and his athleticism, but yet it just seems like that the Adam Gase offense and now Darrell Loggins offense, or whoever seems to be calling plays this week, okay, probably Morris from, you know, the bad news from the Bad News Bears is going to be calling plays this week, okay? So, you know, why not design some plays built around your quarterback's strengths? Now, this week, we kind of take all of that and throw it in the trash because you've got Joe Flacco, probably one of the least mobile quarterbacks in the NFL. He's your prototypical pocket passer, and we don't know exactly what he's going to bring to the table. So I do know that Sam Darnold re-aggravated the shoulder injury that he suffered a couple weeks ago. All right. That's why he's not going to be playing in this game. It's more so just a precautionary measure. But regardless of who's playing, whoever's calling the plays, we've been seeing the same old result on the field. We get about the first 10, 12 plays, scripted plays. Jets are moving the ball up and down the field. They're productive. They're getting yards. Their guys are getting space. And then after that, they can't move the ball to save their life. And then you get rookies being benched because they drop a pass or they drop a ball. You know, you have Chris Herndon, who constantly is being out there used in blocking, that when the ball's actually thrown to him, he's so in his own head at this point that he's got the yips. And I've been talking about this for the past couple of weeks. The only way that a player gets out of the yips is by continuing to throw him the ball, by continuing to put him out there in the field, by continuing to throw him in plays, series after series after series. You have to let a player play out of it. At this point in the season, you have absolutely zero to play for. So why not let these guys that are struggling work their way out of their slumps? Because if not, then bench them. So what are your thoughts about what I just went off on here?
I think right now where the Jets are as an organization, they have to try out what Joe Douglas has drafted. Now, there are players right now we have not seen yet. I want to see these rookies on the field. I want to see what they're capable of doing because the Jets in the offseason, they're going to have a significant amount of money. And I think with Joe Douglas and the way he variates on how he's going to bring players in, he doesn't sign them to long-term deals. He piles up the contract in the beginning, like it gives them guaranteed a certain amount of money, and then he can opt out of the contract after a year. I think that there are players that are going to be available this offseason, guys like Julio Jones. I think Atlanta's going to move on from him and Matt Ryan. I could see that. Matt Ryan might be, if not this year, this coming year after this, that might be his last year. But I don't know, because what you heard with what Artie said, and I call him Artie, the owner of Atlanta, he says that there's nobody that is safe there anymore. So because this is an organization that was in a Super Bowl 3 or 4 years ago. So 3 years ago. So again, it's any team's guess what the Jets are going to do in the offseason. I trust Joe Douglas. I do. I trust it. I think there's a lot of laughing stock of the New York Jets and I say laughing stock because every single thing that goes on with the press, it comes out even harder at the New York Jets organization. I do look at the Johnson family. They do throw themselves under the bus, especially Chris Johnson coming out and saying a couple of weeks ago, saying that Adam Gase, he believes, is still a quarterback guru / offensive guru when we all know straight up and down that this guy cannot coach as far as a head coach is concerned, and especially his offensive play calling. It doesn't make sense. You have a quarterback that can throw the ball down the field, you decide to run the ball. When you decide to run the ball too much, you decide to throw the ball at bad situations. I think that the Jets organization has to look at the big picture here. And you cannot honestly sit here and tell me, Mr. Douglas, as smart as you are, and I know a lot of people, Mark Malusis on WFAN this past week, and Maggie Gray, who's the absolute worst on sports radio. Absolute worst. Nagging. I can't stand listening to her. She doesn't know what the hell she's talking about. And she's a Buffalo Bills fan. But anyways, she's got her own thoughts to whatever she thinks. I think she needs to worry about what she thinks she knows. But the Jets organization is getting attacked by two people on sports media and sports radio. One that's a Washington football team fan, and the other one that's a Buffalo Bills fan. So they're going to take shots at the Jets, including JJ, who is a Miami Dolphin fan. Nobody knows. And then you have Joe Beningo and Evan Roberts. Shout out to Joe Beningo, by the way. Great career, 25 years on sports radio. One of the best. I absolutely have a tremendous amount of respect for Joe Beningo. He's a guy that I've grown up listening to him for the last, 10 years. I really was in depth with WFAN. So shout out to Joe. But even the Jets, they look at the Jets as a joke. I still think that when you look at the big picture right now as an organization, they need to clean house now. Joe Douglas, the Johnson family needs to give Joe Douglas full control of where this team is going after Adam Gase is gone. Patting Adam Gase on the back at the end of the game, watching Christopher Johnson smile and pat Adam Gase on the back doesn't satisfy a Jet fan. It doesn't. A lot of Jet fans are not absolutely happy about what they see on the sidelines with Christopher Johnson. And I do believe Woody is going to be back now. So what does that tell you guys? I as much as everybody makes fun of Woody Johnson and what Woody Johnson has done, Woody Johnson listens to the fans. Christopher Johnson doesn't. If you remember, when fans wanted John Isnick out of the door the first year he came in, what did they do? A plane flew over. We saw that with Adam Gase this year. Adam Gase would have been fired if Woody Johnson was running the organization.
Yes,
he would have been fired. He would have been fired. Woody Johnson is coming back. And when Woody Johnson, now that Donald Trump is no longer the president of the United States, Woody Johnson's coming back here. And Woody Johnson's going to control the team. So I expect in Woody to say, you know what, Chris, we're going to give the reins to this guy. Let's see what this guy could do for the next 5 years for this organization. Let him make the decisions and let him decide on who comes and who goes. And I believe that if the Jets do that, this could change the franchise for the better. Now, I don't know if the Johnson family is going to do that, but I do believe that Woody Johnson, if he listens to the fans, so all this stuff that we're talking and they see it, and people are talking on their crazy podcasts, and I'm talking about the people that hate the New York Jets, what they say on their podcast. I'm sure the Johnson family hears it. I'm sure Woody hears it. He gets letters all the time. He answered. If you guys watched him on Hard Knocks, Woody Johnson answers to all his fan mail. So I'm telling you, this is going to be a different age for the New York Jets now. I really do believe. I don't know if they're going to be a Super Bowl contender next year, but everybody knows in football, you can change in one season into a playoff contending team. We've seen it many, many times. A bad team turn into a playoff contending team. So I just think people need to, and I know you're upset, CJ. You have every right to be upset. I listened to Kevin trying to compare Sam Darnold to Geno Smith, which is a joke. By the way, I love Kevin. Absolutely love the man. But comparing Geno Smith to Sam Darnold is a joke. And I don't want to hear, well, Sam Darnold didn't have any weapons. Give me a break. I mean, I'm sorry, not Sam Darnold. Geno Smith didn't have any weapons. He had weapons. He just got slugged in the face by his own linebacker. That's why he didn't really get the opportunity to play. And when he did come back, he couldn't throw the ball. He looked like an idiot when he played I think it was the Houston Texans. So again, everybody keeps saying, well, Geno was a better player. We don't even know who Sam Darnold is because we haven't put players around him. There was nothing available in free agency last year. And even though this was a wide receiver class, like everybody says, by the way, how many good wide receivers have we seen in this class? Maybe there were 16 drafted in the first 2 rounds. I would say probably 6 or 7 look good, and the rest, okay. So, and I know it's early, but we don't know what these guys are going to turn out to be. So again, Denzel Mims could be a beast. You're absolutely right. And why are they not targeting him? Only explains one thing. The play calling on the sidelines is inept, and Sam Darnold needs to open up his goddamn eyes. His eyes need to open up wide and look at a big target. You can tell how big Denzel Mims is on the football field. He's huge. He's the biggest guy at the line of scrimmage. He's 6'3". He can jump. You saw the catches. He had 3 targets in the first quarter, and he disappeared after that. Disappeared.
Yeah, and that's because of the fact that reports had came out that he was benched because of the fact that he dropped a pass. He dropped his only pass in the game. So he had 2 catches. He had 3 targets, but yet he still put up more yards in those 2 catches than the rest of the offense combined. That's pathetic. And for Adam Gase to actually have the balls to put this kid on the sideline and to punish the kid by not giving him more game reps just because he dropped a pass is completely ridiculous. Because Adam Gase should get his ass kicked by every single person on that sideline on a weekly basis. The fact that his play calling, his offense, and all of his nonsense is the reason why the Jets are 0-8 and possibly staring 0-9 in the face. And I'm sorry, a lot of people are saying, oh, yeah, the Jets will be able to beat the Patriots. No, I don't put any stock in that. Because this is Bill Belichick we're talking about. This is Cam Newton we're talking about. And if you go and take a look at the games the Patriots have played this year, it's not as if that the Patriots have been getting blown out by double digits like the New York Jets have been all year. The Patriots have the record that they have because Cam Newton lost 3 of those games single-handedly by himself.
CJ,
on game-winning drives, 1 by throwing a pick, 2 of them by fumbling the ball away.
CJ, can I ask you a question?
Sure, you can always ask me a question.
Who said that Denzel Mims didn't play? He got benched.
This was a word report coming out of the Jets locker room out of the mouth of Adam Gase, apparently. Because that was reported right after the game. Go talk to your boy Rich Cimini. Go talk to Brian Costello. They were the ones who plastered it all over fucking social media.
Really? I didn't even hear it. I thought he was on the field Now, I saw him on the field. He didn't get any targets. Maybe they didn't bench him. They just didn't target him. He was on the field. I saw him on the field. They just...
Right, but here's the thing. Regardless of whether the guy drops a pass arrow, if the guy is beating his defender like a drum and he's 10, 15 yards, 20 yards down the field, I don't give a shit if he drops 5 passes. You tell Sam or whoever's in Sam's ear to get the ball to that kid.
Yep.
Because at the end of the day, the process of winning a game is scoring more points than your opponent. And right now, I don't care about Adam Gase's pride. I don't care about his playbook. I don't care about his purple dildo or whatever the hell he's got, whatever his problem is.
He has a purple dildo?
I'm sure he probably does.
Wow, that's nice.
I think he stole it from Ashley Hart.
Oh, there you go. I thought he had a yellow one. I mean, he's not a green fan. He's not a green fan. You can see how he coaches. So obviously,
right, exactly. So but that's neither here nor there. It's like, look, if you're going to call yourself a quarterback guru, and I hate it when he calls him that because you know what? He's not a guru or shit. All right, I'm sorry. I was really trying during this show not to curse, but every time I talk about friggin' Adam Gase, I swear to God, I want to separate his head from the rest of his fucking body. Because every time I see him, he just looks like he just did a couple lines of coke, and he just stares at the friggin' camera like, I am just absolutely sick of Adam Gase, his press conference, and everything that surrounds him. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of Darryl Loggins. I'm sick of that entire coaching staff.